Caesar making 3 videos in 1 week? Who would have thought? So, hello ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to pretty much make this other video here talking about Nintendo's next system that I guess they randomly decided to go ahead and upload on a normal Tuesday morning. So, granted, it's not actually a video game system. This is just actually what was announced was an alarm clock. Nintendo Alarmo, which is a Nintendo sound clock system that I guess that's what they're calling it. The way how it works is that you have different types of little quirks and sound effects that will come out of the alarm. One of the effects that they were showing off quite a bit was actually the Super Mario one. So when you're actually waking up, when the alarm is going off and you're kind of getting in that mood, or like you're waking up, you know, when you're moving around, apparently it's actually going to go ahead and kind of see that, I guess, stretching or whatever, it's going to be doing little sound effects from the Super Mario games. I mean, that's the other weird thing about this alarm, is that it does have a sensor, and so once it fully recognizes that you're fully awake, one of the examples again was Super Mario, and it was actually playing the Super Mario fanfare, the fanfare that you would play when you completed a level in the 2D games. It's cool, I guess, but it's for sure not something that I'm gonna go ahead and get right away. I don't even think I'm ever going to really get it. I just don't see the point for me, and especially with me when I use my alarm or whatever, I just use my phone as an alarm, and I think a lot of people actually do. But this isn't Nintendo's first time jumping into creating some form of alarm type of system, or just a digital clock type of thing. Like, they themselves have actually even made applications on the Nintendo 3DS to help you out and stuff. There was actually a Nintendo 3DS clock system there. And I mean, you guys might be saying in the back, but Caesar, you're a collector. Why aren't you gonna be getting this day one when it comes out? And that's because when I'm collecting, or when I go out and I collect things, I collect video games, not alarm clocks and stuff like that. Like, this is just kind of another item that Nintendo is doing. Granted, it is Nintendo, but again, I collect video games first. So other kind of third-party systems or toys and stuff like that they do for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, I don't really like to get those. I normally just focus specifically on video games part. But of course, with the announcement of Nintendo Alarmo, they also went ahead and did a developer interview, which is another massive shock to me that they decided to go ahead and do, actually. So I just thought that we'd go ahead and we'd just read a little bit of the stuff here, and yeah, we'll just see what's going on here. So if you guys are interested, please go ahead. I'll leave a link in the description down below for you guys to go ahead and check out the rest of the developer interview diaries here that Nintendo always does. And yeah, I just think it's pretty crazy and funny that Nintendo is doing these developer diaries, especially for just, again, an alarm clock. So yeah, I just think it's funny. Hi, I'm Yasuke Tamori, and I'm a member of the Entertainment Planning and Development Department, and as a producer for Alarmo, I oversaw the project as a whole. In the past, I was involved in the development of Splatoon 1 for Wii U, Nintendo Labo for Nintendo Switch, and as a game software designer. Hello, I'm Tetsuya Akama, and I'm a member of the Technology Development Department, and I joined this project as the director. I was originally the product designer. Recently, I was involved in hardware projects such as the Joy-Con grip for Nintendo Switch and the Joy-Con wheel. So he's kind of made more so like the other kind of add-ons or kind of attachments that you can do for the Nintendo Switch system. So I can see how these two combining their minds and them working together would kind of help with creating potentially this cool thing. Because I mean, I will say this alarm clock is a pretty cool thing. Again, I don't want to keep knocking it down too much, just because it's not something that I myself particularly want or need. But I do think this is actually a really cool little thing. I mean, it's cool that it does have a sensor, and I do think it's actually pretty awesome that when you move around, it's sensing that you're moving around, and it's just going to be playing these cool little sound effects from Nintendo games. And then when you finally wake up, it has this great kind of fanfare kind of thing saying, you know, yeah, like, congrats on waking up. Which, I mean, I think this would be a perfect thing for kids, you know, who struggle with going to school and waking up and getting up. And I have a feeling that this is probably, you know, something that's pretty important and special to them, you know, maybe because they likely do have kids that maybe do suffer in that kind of regard. But I do think, you know, them waking up to this would be a really fun, cutesy little way for them to start out their day. So sure, this is Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo. In a nutshell, it's an alarm alarm clock that's out of the ordinary made by Nintendo. What makes it so unusual is that it has a special sensor inside the device that detects a person's movement, so it can tell whether they're in bed or not. Using this sensor, Alarmo repeatedly tries to wake you up while you're in bed to help prevent oversleeping. When you get out of the bed, the alarm automatically stops. Another unique feature is that the music and sound effects from selected Nintendo games are used as alarm sounds, offering an experience that feels like you're waking up in a game world. Which, again, that's pretty cool. The only thing that I will say is kind of a little bit concerning is that what if that sensor goes kaput or something just doesn't work with it? You know, just the alarm automatically doesn't stop. I think just having that extra function of like a button just in case on top or on the side or on the back or somewhere, I think would be very beneficial as a just in case precaution. Yeah, it just being fully censored is, again, that's just the main thing that I'm a little bit concerned about when it comes to that, and can be kind of annoying for some kids or just even adults just being like, hey, this stupid alarm isn't turning off. Simply by placing this alarm clock next to your bed, you can wake up in a pleasant or fun way, and it can automatically play music to help provide a relaxing environment when you get into bed. It also keeps track of how long you've been in bed sleeping and how long it took you to get out of the bed after the alarm went off. So it's pretty much a tracker as well. So if you're one of those healthy athletic people kind of thing, you want to keep an eye on like when, because I know that's an actual app function that you can have on smartphones nowadays, and it does tell you how long you've slept. This is also a pretty neat thing, and I feel like compared to phones, this is probably a way more accurate way of this actually working, just because that it is basically its main thing. The only thing, like I mentioned, is that I'm really concerned just about that sensor, that it just might go off or just might not work, and it being the first version of it might be a little bit, jarring, I guess. But I mean, I have heard that some of the Alarmo has already been out to many creators here on YouTube. They already have had it in their hands and they've tested it, and some of them are saying it works pretty good and haven't really had any faulty issues with it. And I do also like the fact that for some people who kind of, let's say you need ASMR type of videos and stuff like that, or just or you listen to like relaxing type of noises or video, or like just video game music or something, I do like the fact that it does say that it does actually help provide a relaxing environment when you get into bed, pretty much saying that it does actually play calming noises and stuff when you're falling asleep. So overall, I mean, yeah, I don't want to read too much into it, just because yeah, it's just an alarm clock in my opinion, and so yeah, I'm not that interested in it. But yeah, I do find it pretty cool. I do like the fact that it has a lot of nice little quirks to it, and this does seem very Nintendo for sure for them to do and make in this day and age. And of course, it being called Alarmo, I mean, it makes sense. We have names like Amiibo, and yeah, it's it's for sure fitting that theme right now. But the $100 asking price is where I'm kind of like, that's a bit too steep. But I mean, for the amount of functions and just all of the stuff that you have, I mean, I guess it could be worth it, I suppose. I mean, I'm not a clock connoisseur, I guess you can say. I'm more so just, again, video games. So if you are a clock collector, I know there are some people that actually do collect a lot of like retro kind of classical kind of clocks. I wonder how you guys feel about this, actually, more so. Yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.